They tried to steal my $10 million property because I bought it for 25 cents and thought I'd be too stupid to fight back. Listen to this garbage. I'm a divorced plumber who legally bought an abandoned lakefront cabin at a tax auction. 25 cents. That's it. 1 year later, after busting my back restoring that Colorado mountain cabin with my own hands, an HOA queen named Diana Thorne rolled up in her luxury SUV, claiming I didn't own a thing. The smell of fresh pine still lingered from my morning sawing when she stepped out, designer boots crunching gravel, waving legal papers like a victory flag. "This property belongs to the HOA now," she declared, dripping condescension. $10 million. That's what my quarter investment had become. And she actually thought she could take it. What would you do if someone tried to steal your land using fine print and intimidation? Drop a comment and let me know where you're watching from. Let me back up and tell you how a broke plumber ended up owning paradise and why one vindictive HOA president nearly destroyed everything 6 months earlier. I was Mark Kane, 52, living in a Denver apartment that smelled of microwave dinners and broken dreams. Fresh divorce. Ex-wife Jennifer took half my tools, half my savings, and, apparently, half my will to live. At least she left me the pickup truck, probably because it smelled like pipe glue and had more rust than paint. I'd been hitting weekend tax auctions, hunting flip properties. People think they're boring. Wrong. The desperation in courthouse rooms is electric. Wooden benches squeak under nervous bidders. Auctioneers rattle off lot numbers like carnival barkers. That Tuesday, one entry jumped out. Cedar Hills cabin, 15 acres lakefront, minimum bid 25 cents. The photo looked apocalyptic. Rotting roof, broken windows. But lakefront in Colorado? That's gold. 2 hours later, I drove Highway 285. When Clear Creek Lake came into view, it looked like a postcard. The cabin sat on pristine shoreline, Rocky Mountain peaks reflecting in crystal water. Hand-hewn logs from the 1960s. The foundation was straight as my plumbing level. Sure, it needed everything. Electrical, plumbing, maybe a miracle, but the bones were solid. That's when a spotless white Escalade pulled up. Out stepped Diana Thorne, silver hair shellacked, clipboard clutched like a holy text. "Excuse me," she announced. "I'm president of the Cedar Hills HOA. I waved my tax deed. "Mark Kane, new owner." Her smile froze. "Oh, sweetie, tax sales don't supersede our covenants." She produced a massive rule book. "This cabin violates 17 community standards. Demolition required." I explained the cabin predated any HOA by 40 years and was grandfathered in. "I'm sure a tradesman like you doesn't grasp legal complexities," she sneered. "But we've removed 12 properties. Our attorney never loses. This woman was on my land acting like I was a clueless intruder. Lady, I bought this legally. I'm restoring it," I said. Her smile turned predatory. "Mr. Kane, you don't understand how things work here. This is an exclusive community. People like you usually find it easier to walk away. You have 72 hours to reconsider." Her Escalade vanished in a cloud of entitlement. I stood gripping my 25-cent receipt, echo of a hawk overhead. My dad always said bullies only understand one thing: stand your ground. I just didn't realize this bully had lawyers, connections, and years of experience crushing people like me. Monday, I was hauling debris when a pickup rolled up. Out stepped Bryce Thorne, her 20-something son and self-proclaimed compliance officer. He wore a reflective vest and scribbled furiously. "You parked incorrectly," he said, citing me $500 because my truck wasn't parallel to property lines. Tuesday, citation for construction noise at 9 a.m. Wednesday, improper waste storage. Thursday, landscaping violations for not planting flowers around a half-rebuilt foundation. Each fine, $500. Her strategy? Death by 1,000 paper cuts. But plumbers know how to think around problems. That weekend, I dug through county records. After hours in a musty basement, I found it. Cedar Hills HOA was created just 8 years ago. My cabin, built in 1962, legally protected as pre-existing non-conforming use. Grandfathered in. Monday, I went to Caldwell and Associates, a strip mall law firm. Their paralegal, Zoe James, spotted the truth immediately. HOAs can't enforce rules on older properties. These citations, worthless. She filed a motion challenging jurisdiction. Meanwhile, I launched Cabin Restoration Chronicles on social media. First video, time-lapse debris removal set to classic rock. Comments exploded. People loved watching potential uncovered. Local hardware owner Pete Ramirez gave me discounts. That woman's terrorized this place for years. About time someone stood up to her. The neighborhood split. Some left anonymous notes of support. Others avoided eye contact, fear of Diana running deep. Then I got a note under my windshield. Check the Kellerman property. I drove to a vacant lot, cracked foundations where a home once stood. Someone hadn't survived Diana's campaign. That Friday, I posted pressure washing footage. Logs transformed from black to golden. 50,000 views in 6 hours. Standing on my porch at golden hour, I told the camera, Delilah thinks paperwork will break me. But every citation proves I'm doing something right. What I didn't realize, Diana was watching too. Monday, County Inspector Harold Fleming slapped a bright orange stop work order on my door. No permits, he said. I filed weeks ago, I shot back. 20 minutes at the county office revealed my applications were misfiled. Coincidentally, Harold played golf every Thursday with Diana at Pine Ridge Country Club. Conflict of interest, anyone? The Kellerman mystery broke wide open. I found Robert Kellerman at a Durango tackle shop. His story? 2 years of harassment, endless fines, mysterious permit problems, forced to sell cheap. Months later, Diana's husband's company flipped, the property for triple the price. Always ask who profits from your misery, Robert said. Back with Zoe, we spotted the obvious. Harold never disclosed ties to HOA leadership. Ethics complaint filed. Within 48 hours, his stop work order was suspended. Meanwhile, my electrical installation videos went viral. DIY fans shared them nationwide. Support poured in. Pete introduced me to retired Judge Harold Whitman. He studied my case, muttering, procedural errors everywhere. Classic manipulation scheme. He offered free legal help. Then came reporter Sarah Martinez. She'd seen my videos. Within days, she launched a 3-part investigation exposing Diana's tactics. I started a GoFundMe, help save the 25-cent cabin, $25,000 in 1 week. Sunday night, I sat on my porch, counting donations, when headlights swept in. Diana emerged, with a thick envelope. Mr. Kane, you're being served. Fraud allegations, she said. She claimed I'd obtained the property illegally, facing potential 20-year penalties. Tuesday morning, Sheriff Rodriguez reluctantly delivered papers. Suddenly, I was under criminal investigation. Media flipped. Anonymous tips painted me as a con man. My comment sections turned toxic. Flyers branded me a thief. My plumbing business collapsed under fake reviews. Even my ex-wife called, crying, after reporters dug into my past. But while Diana torched my reputation, Judge Whitman quietly dismantled her foundation. Wednesday, he found a bombshell. Cedar Hills HOA never legally incorporated with the state, meaning it didn't legally exist. Every fine, every lawsuit, worthless. Even worse for her, historical surveys showed my cabin was never inside HOA boundaries. Diana knew it all along. She'd been bluffing, hoping I'd fold. Friday, the DA dismissed the fraud case with prejudice. My purchase? 100% legal. By then, my following hit 500,000. Backer cabin justice trended nationwide. Local businesses posted "We Support Mark" signs. Other victims came forward with horror stories. County officials launched a review of all HOA actions. That weekend, an appraiser valued my fully restored property at $2.8 million from a 25-cent tax sale. Sunday evening, I sat on my dock at Clear Creek Lake, watching sunset blaze gold across the water. Sarah Martinez texted, "Big story breaking tomorrow. You'll want to see this." Monday morning, cleaning the basement, I pried open a wall panel. Hidden inside, a rusted metal box. Inside, original 1962 deed, survey maps, and a folder marked Mineral, Rights Assessment. My hands shook, reading the geological survey. Rare earth minerals worth $12 million beneath my land. Lithium, copper, gold. Judge Whitman's jaw dropped. "Mark, you own everything under this property. This changes everything." Sarah's next series revealed the truth. Diana's husband's company was bankrupt, drowning in debt. They desperately needed cash. And her father's old surveys showed she knew about these mineral deposits all along. Her campaign wasn't about community standards. It was greed. Plain and simple, a mining company offered me $8 million for rights. But standing on that, Doc, breathing pine air, I knew this place had healing power, so I announced a different plan. Limited, sustainable extraction to fund a public conservation park. 90% of land protected, eco-cabins bringing community revenue. Support exploded. Environmental groups cheered. Tourism boards projected millions in impact. Diana had tried to steal Fort Knox. Now the vault slammed shut on her fingers. Tuesday morning, Judge Whitman's law office became a war room. Volunteers filled every seat. "We're filing a civil RICO lawsuit," he declared. Diana's harassment was racketeering. Environmental lawyer Rebecca Torres joined pro bono, helping design the Conservation Trust. Local contractor Miguel Santos organized volunteers. Tradesmen swarmed the site, building infrastructure like it was a barn raising. The 25-cent Conservation Trust was born, managing extraction, funding the park, and teaching property rights. Every weekend, families and workers came together. Hammers, saws, and laughter echoed across the lake. Businesses donated supplies. Sarah uncovered 12 other families Diana had forced out. We created a victim support fund, offering them legal help. My following soared to 1.2 million. Daily updates mixed construction progress with lessons on property law and HOA abuse. Inside the E.A. cabin, the educational center took shape, and soon, interactive displays would teach. Families would come, not just to vacation, but to learn history, law, and the dangers of unchecked HOA power. Children could run through the meadow without fear of citations, while veterans found affordable cabins for rest. That was the dream forming in front of me. A vision of land turned from battleground to sanctuary. But Diana Thorne wasn't finished. The moment she realized her grip on Cedar Hills was slipping, she doubled down. New lawsuits appeared weekly. She filed restraining orders, claiming I harassed her. She whispered to officials that my conservation trust was a scam. Rumors spread through town. I was secretly a mining tycoon, a con artist exploiting sympathy. The pressure was suffocating, but the community that had rallied around me refused to let her win. Retired Judge Whitman, Zoe the paralegal, and Rebecca Torres, the environmental attorney, became my daily team. Volunteers filled the cabin, converting it into both headquarters and community center. Every evening, neighbors gathered around long wooden tables to draft petitions, review evidence, and share food. It felt less like a lawsuit and more like a grassroots revolution. Still, Diana was clever. She tried intimidation where law failed. One night, I found my truck tires slashed. Another morning, dead fish scattered across my dock, a message that my lake was tainted. Anonymous calls promised accidents if I didn't drop the conservation plan. But the more she attacked, the stronger people stood with me. Sarah Martinez's reporting turned Diana into a symbol of corruption. She uncovered how Diana's husband's company bought foreclosed properties cheap, always after heavy HOA harassment. 12 families had lost homes this way. Now, the pattern was undeniable. The county opened an investigation. State regulators followed. News vans camped on the highway, broadcasting the Battle of Cedar Hills nationwide. As attention grew, so did opportunity. A renewable energy company proposed partnering with our trust to extract lithium with minimal impact. Universities offered to build research stations. Suddenly, my 25-cent cabin was at the center of an $80 million project that promised jobs, tourism, and education. That's when Diana made her boldest move yet. At a closed HOA meeting, she pushed through a resolution declaring the entire Clear Creek Lake area restricted for conservation. On paper, it sounded noble. In reality, it banned development and voided mineral rights, specifically mine. She announced it with a triumphant press release, painting me as an enemy of nature. The irony nearly broke me. I was fighting to create a genuine conservation trust. She twisted it into a weapon. For a week, headlines branded me a profiteer. Online trolls flooded my pages. Donations slowed. Even some neighbors hesitated. But Judge Whitman spotted the flaw. Her HOA isn't legally recognized, he said. She has no authority to designate anything. He filed motions exposing the sham. Zoe tracked financial records showing Diana secretly negotiated to sell adjacent land to a resort developer. Conservation was just her cover. The tide turned again. Reporters confronted her live on camera. She stammered, dodged, and finally fled microphones. For the first time, cracks appeared in her mask of control. Meanwhile, construction of the education center advanced. Volunteers installed solar panels, composting systems, and water filters. Families camped on weekends, children painting signs that read, "Our lake, our future." Each nail driven into wood felt like defiance. But then came the court date. That would decide everything. State of Colorado versus Cedar Hills HOA. The courthouse overflowed. Victims packed the benches, reporters lined the halls, protesters waved signs outside. Inside, Diana sat stiff, pearls tight around her throat, lawyers flanking her. Judge Reynolds presided with patience, but steel. Evidence poured in. Misfiled. Permits, harassment campaigns, fraudulent fines. One by one, victims testified. Elderly couples describing ruined retirements, veterans losing family cabins, mothers sobbing over forced sales. Finally, it was my turn. I described buying the cabin for 25 cents, the joy of restoring it, and the nightmare that followed. I showed videos of illegal citations, proof of mineral rights, plans for conservation. My voice shook, but the truth carried weight. Diana took the stand last. She spoke with practiced charm, painting herself as protector of community standards. But cross-examination shredded her story. Documents proved she knew the HOA lacked legal standing. Emails revealed she orchestrated harassment. Bank records showed profits from resold properties. By the end, even her own lawyer looked ready to walk away. After 3 weeks, Judge Reynolds delivered the verdict. The Cedar Hills HOA was dissolved. All citations voided. Victims eligible. For damages, Diana Thorne, personally liable for fraud and abuse of power. Gasps echoed through the courtroom. For the first time, she had lost. Outside, cheers erupted. Reporters swarmed. Sarah's camera caught me standing on the courthouse steps, holding the original 1962 deed high above my head. The photo spread nationwide, the plumber who bought a cabin for a quarter and defeated a corrupt empire. But victory brought new responsibility. With lawsuits resolved, the Conservation Trust truly began. State grants poured in. Universities sent students to study sustainable mining. Local contractors built eco-cabins and trails. Tourists booked months in advance. I watched as the meadow filled with families again. Veterans fishing, children learning history, locals selling crafts. The lake, once ruled by fear, now thrived as a symbol of resilience. The trust grew into something bigger, a national movement. Other communities contacted us, seeking guidance against abusive HOAs. We launched workshops, online resources, and legal aid funds. What began as my fight became a blueprint for resistance. As for Diana, her empire collapsed. Foreclosure on her mansion, cars repossessed, her husband filed bankruptcy. She tried appeals, but courts rejected them all. The last I heard, she left. Colorado, reputation in ashes. And me? I sat once more on the dock at sunset, the cabin restored, the lake alive with laughter. From 25 cents to $10 million, from despair to hope, my journey proved one thing: ordinary people can stand up to corruption and win. The fight isn't over. Across the country, families still face bullies hiding behind bylaws. But now they know they're not alone. If a broke plumber could turn a quarter into justice, so can they. Because in Cedar Hills, one man's stand became a movement. If this story of triumph over corruption made your day, smash that like button. Share your thoughts down below and make sure you're subscribed. More outrageous neighborhood showdowns are just around the corner.